It says we're live, but let's make sure we're live. Oh,
There you are.
Oh, we get an ad.
Oh, I hear us.
I get an ad that comes on before it. You know, that's Empire Music out there monetizing our YouTube channel. That's what pays the big bucks. I think last month we made a whopping $256 on the YouTube channel. It was amazing.
Loaded.
What's up, guys? Anthony here with Empire Music. Welcome to our seventh annual happy hour hang. I don't even know if that's the right term for that. It's not annual. We don't do this yearly. Although it hasn't been a while. I think the last one we did was back in June.
Yeah,
June.
It's been a
Mike
minute.
Venezia from Taylor Guitars when we purchased the summer NAMM booth. Had some really cool guitars come through. So I'm Anthony. You guys know Joe Revita, hardest working man in the music retail industry.
What's happening, guys?
The man doesn't sleep. As
I haven't been sleeping.
As Samuel from Seattle has noted. We'll get into that with the questions. So yeah, welcome to our seventh happy hour hang. This is a little time that we like to take to kind of shed a little light into what's happening in the shop. Some of the new stuff that's come in, some of the old stuff that we're moving, some of the specials that we have, what repair time looks like, and just kind of the general pulse of the shop right now, which
The what's what
is right now running at about 120 BPM on a regular basis.
Yeah,
we are
getting our asses handed to us. Yeah,
we're shorthanded. Our young man Jordan Nelson went on to do some other things, and we appreciated him, and he really helped us out for a time here in the shop. But we are a little shorthanded right now, though that's going to change shortly. So we have. You'll notice one of the big three is missing from the room right now, and that's Mr. Todd Myra. He's out manning the floor, so he drew the short straw there. So he's the one that gets to be out there. We get to talk to you fine folks out there. So again, welcome. We do this from 5 to 6, just super casual hang. If you have a glass of wine or a beer, please have it. If you're watching this on YouTube, which I'm sure you are, please subscribe to the channel. We greatly appreciate that. We're always pumping out new content. Gives us an opportunity to kind of connect with a lot of our customers out there, and you guys always reach back out to us. We get a lot of calls on the regular about people that watch the YouTube channel and see our videos. And
most of them I hear from my guitar playing. That's what I've heard.
Joe Revita is he's burning it up, man.
I'll tell you what. If it was an email, if I had to do an email on camera, type faster than most of you. I'll tell you that.
What did you say? Someone came in the shop. He said it today. And he was like, I don't know how guys drink and perform. And you're like, I don't know. Maybe that's what I should start doing.
Maybe that's it. Yeah, I'm sorry. We were commiserating about how people can get drunk on stage and play well. And then I was like, well, maybe that's what I need to do. So my next video might be a little loose. If that happens,
if anyone out there feels like sending us anything, Joe drinks Grand Marnier. I'm a Tullamore guy.
Nice cordial.
Todd drinks red wine, and
does he?
And no, the way you said that, you said it like he drinks it a ton.
No, but Todd's a great drinking partner.
Todd's not in here, so behind the scenes, a glass and a half of wine.
Happiest guy on earth.
The face goes red.
Yeah.
The eyes get squinty.
He's great.
Todd's already 3 sheets, a glass and a half in. It's pretty amazing.
He's a happy camper.
And I have a new sweatshirt as I see myself on it. Look at this.
It's
beautiful.
Just to let you know, it's 85 degrees in Pittsburgh. Anthony, it's 73 degrees in here if I'm lucky, and I'm dying. Anthony's got a shawl on. It's
I'm actually cold. My fingers are actually cold right now. But look, I mean, I'm seeing it on the camera, and it is this beautiful, almost pink salmon. It's like a burnt salmon sort of hue.
Lovely.
I got this at Nordstrom Rack because I don't have enough money to shop at Nordstrom, but I go to the discount place. This was $34 when I went shopping with my mother the other day. Hi, Mom. I'm on TV, kind of.
On TV.
Sort of, on YouTube TV.
Oh.
So, what's going on in the shop? Without all jokes aside.
All the yucks.
We're slammed in here. We're really, really busy. If you've been in the shop, you know what it looks like. Joe, explain what it looks like and why it looks that way.
Unbelievable. I mean, as you guys know, we are allegedly expanding. And we have had work. Our upstairs space has now new HVAC, has new sprinkler system. So we're on the pace. The Player Pluses coming in. I mean, probably 120 to 150 Player Pluses.
Well, last week We got that shit. We got 186 pieces last week.
Yeah.
A lot of that was Player Plus, and there was a lot of like the new Affinity stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
And then this week we got 90 pieces in. It was only probably 20 or so
80,
Affinities.
it was 80. Yeah, it was 87 Player Pluses on
Yeah,
the order.
so we got about 150 pieces of that stuff in, and not even all the colors yet. So there's more coming. But that was a really big release, and we'll get into those. So that's kind of
basically what we've done is we shuffled pallets and boxes around.
Yeah.
If you've been to Empire, like we have 2 floors, one with lessons and storage, and then one with our main floor, which is also retail and storage.
So everything is storage in Empire.
And our
Music, right?
area where we're building out is also storage. And there's a doctor's office that moved out next to us, and the landlord's been kind enough to let us use that for storage. So we need about 30,000 square feet. That's what we need, but we don't have it. So we're getting there though. And hopefully the guitars keep flying out the door, so we'll eventually have more room.
Yeah, and if I'll throw, whenever I get a second, I'll throw a link up to the website here. If there's something you guys see on there, obviously we'll show off the new Player Plus, and then we're going to talk about a few other new things that have been popping through. If there's something that you want, we'll get you the best deal possible, free shipping, pro setup. We always say pro setup, and that's not. We know there's some stores out there that do a multi-point inspection on their guitars, and that's cool.
Maybe 55 points.
Maybe 55 points, maybe 11 points, maybe 6.5 points. But what we do, if you talk to me on the phone and you buy a beautiful bass, as my friend Patrick McCormick just purchased yesterday, I went over and grabbed that bass. It was a 5-string Player Plus in the beautiful Tequila Sunrise, which we'll show you here in a second. Actually, you can kind of see it back behind Joe there.
Look at that.
Beautiful finish.
Happy hour Tequila Sunrise. Get it?
Boom.
Get it?
See? Tie it all together here, guys.
The Eagles have a song.
Do they?
It's another Tequila Sunrise.
I don't even know that.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right,
it's not one of the better ones.
Yeah. I mean, there's some good, some bad music that gets played here in Empire Music occasionally, especially when I come in and this guy's picked picked a playlist. It's either Rancid or it's like some 70s whatever's going on. But on the guitars, like I go grab that guitar, I take it back to Aaron or take it back to Todd or take it back to Paul, who's our second tech here. And that thing gets really gone over in the same fashion that, if you would come in and bring your guitar in for a setup, it's either $55 or $65 for a setup. We're doing that level of setup on that guitar. So if you go and buy a Squier at $275 or you buy a custom shop at $4,000 or above, we pay everything the same amount of attention. So rest assured, we're going to try and get you the best playable guitar that we can, obviously. So if you see something on the website, give us a call, talk to one of us, and like I said, we'll try and take care of you best we can. So the Player Plus stuff, which we'll show off in a minute. There's another one that kind of slipped under the radar to us here, and we'll talk a little more on that. Check that thing out. That's the Kurt Cobain Jag Stang, like the new iteration of it. And we'll run you through a few of the specs. We're not going to get into any sounds. We don't have the setup right now to play everything. But we're going to certainly show off some models. Also, talk about, just to kind of backtrack on something, I don't think these weren't out whenever Mike was on the last one, right? Mm-hmm. So this is kind of a cool guitar that we got. And I'll put a link to it. Joe, tell people about this new Taylor we got going
So we
on.
have a Taylor 414 CER Blackout. It's an Empire exclusive. It's a guitar I've been working on with Taylor for probably 2 years to get done, and it got slowed down with COVID. The 414 CE is a very popular model. It's a rosewood back and side guitar with spruce top from Taylor. It's Sitka spruce, and came with chrome hardware and white binding and this Victorian scroll inlay. It's cool. You know what I mean? It's a really popular guitar, and it's a great value because solid spruce and rosewood at $2,600, you can't beat it. Well, I wanted to do a black binding, black hardware, black sound hole rosette version of this guitar.
Grabbed one.
It's all good.
Grab one.
But it took forever to get this thing to line. We added a smoky ebony fingerboard, and then we got to soup it up. So, in the time that we had been talking about the instrument, we wanted to do a different top on the guitar. And sometimes there was some sourcing problems, so it kept postponing it, and then COVID. So if you didn't hear about that, COVID happened. And we were able to get it done with a Lutz spruce top. Now, I love Lutz spruce. If you've ever played a 700 series, Taylor, a 714 or a 712, they're Lutz. And Lutz spruce grows organically between Sitka and Engelmann. And it kind of has the power of Adirondack, the broken-inness of Engelmann, and the flexibility to play lots of styles like Sitka. It's really a really great sounding guitar. Top, and it's with the 414. It's basically a warmer 414, and it sounds definitely more vintagey. It's kind of like almost like a 6 or 7 year old Sitka top, and I think we sold one today. We sold 2 yesterday. I mean, we only were able to do 20.
We got eight sold, right?
Sold.
Yeah.
So if you check that out, they're $27.99 smoke show deal. We have 36 months, 0% on them. And each one has individually grained fingerboard smokiness. They're pretty rad.
They sound really, really good. And like Joe said, I love 714s. Like, I think those are crushing guitar. They sound fantastic. Really, really dynamic instruments. Very articulate, and they can also be powerful. They're awesome. This is a really nice way to get into that sonically. A very different aesthetic, though, because the 7 has, what's the binding on the 7?
It's Koa.
A Koa binding. So now we have like a black binding with the black rosette.
We have an ebony sound hole rosette.
Yeah, and you can see I put the link in the YouTube chat there. The necks look really good without any inlays going on that, which is pretty cool. So that's what's new from Taylor. Martin as well. We've been like kind of knocking out, man, these 1937s that keep kind of trickling through. So we have 2 cool Martin things that we're doing. The 37, that's not exclusive, but that is.
No, that's one of 25. They're custom expert deals.
So relatively exclusive, but we do. So 2 cool things. We do the Empire exclusive, the Authentics, which we've shown you before. And basically, that's because now they're offering authentic bracing in cut. That was not an option before, right?
So the authentic bracing is now available to the custom expert dealers in custom builds. So, I mean, it's like they actually contacted me to do another wood selection. So, a year, 18 months from now, whatever we'd pick out,
So we did D's and triple O's in Koa and Cocobolo. Sonically,
Koa's real lush. It's now ours. So the authentic models that they have are Sitka tops. I'm sorry, Adirondack top, Adirondack bracing, not VTS, and they're beasts. Ours are VTS Sitka top with VTS Adirondack bracing. The authentic bracing design. Ours a little bit fatter sounding, a little bit more mellow, like more lush. The Cocobolo is a little sparkly. The Koa is a little bit more sweet. Their guitar just screams. I mean, it's just like they're righteous. I mean, they're really, really great. Ours are definitely, if you're looking for if you're looking for classic Martin tone, you want one of the ones that they designed.
Yeah.
If you're looking for something that is more modern sounding, a little bit more mid-friendly, a little bit more balanced, our guys where it's at.
Yeah, but they've all been really nice. So that's what's going on with Martin.
Yeah.
Fender B Stock, another kind of thing that is, they fly out the door. I mean, we get a lot of guys. So what happens with the Fender B Stock, and we might have alluded to this last time, or if you follow us on any of our Instagram, and if you just follow our website, you see this stuff all the time. So Fender, essentially what happens, we're a massive Fender dealer. We're sitting in a beautiful custom shop room. If you've walked through the doors here in sunny Mount Lebanon, Pennsylvania, or Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as we like to say. Mount Lebanon sounds so far out there if you're not familiar with the area, even though we're like 3 miles from the city. There's tons of Fender out there. So Matt Schultz, our rep, gets us access to Fender B Stock stuff. What is Fender B Stock? Basically, since Fender sells direct, shame on them. Actually, no, it's fine. But whenever they would get a return from Fender.com, instead of like putting it back into the regular inventory pool, it just goes into B Stock. A lot of the stuff, we always put the disclaimer, it could be scratch and dent or something like that. But really, we rarely see anything wrong with it. Occasionally there is a few dings and scratches on it, but most of the stuff is dead mint. It was just returned to Fender.com. So we get our hands on that. If you go on our website and you go up in the upper right-hand corner, there'll be a little search tab. Just type in the words B Stock. Anything that's in there will pop up. It's a nice discount on some brand new Fender stuff. Still has the warranty. We still do the factory setup on it, all that. So a really nice opportunity to sometimes get into some American-made instrument, Mexican-made instrument, and even some Squier instruments that are B Stock. So we can get some really, really affordable stuff out to you with really no worse for wear there.
We started listing amps too, and that's been like
yeah, it was funny. I don't know why we weren't listing the amps, and then we started to boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, it's like crazy. So,
and then if you know us, we don't do. I mean, we wish we did more amps, but we just don't. We just don't
Well,
sell.
and the thing is,
a
an
ton
amp
of
is an amp.
amps.
It's an amp in a box, so it's just like there's not a lot of way to stand out with that.
Yeah, and I think it's too like you can buy a bunch of guitars. A lot of people have a bunch of amps, but it's
Yeah.
just like you get one. And
You're always going to get another guitar over another amp. Everyone does.
Or
this.
we hope.
Yeah.
If you want one, 412-343-5299. Give us a call. See how I do that. And then then there's new Squier Affinity stuff that's popping through. Really, they're just retools, but new finishes.
Yeah, new finishes.
Yeah, and they're nice,
refresh. They're
man.
great.
We'd like the Squier stuff here. It's like if you're looking for an affordable instrument, they're great. And to be honest with you, our most popular YouTube videos end up being
Every time
Squier stuff because just I think dumb luck, the fact that we do them, and some people don't pay them that much attention, but like we've met a lot of really good customers that have ended up buying custom shop stuff because they saw the Squier videos. So that's kind of cool. Moving on, if you have any repairs in the shop, if you need anything done, you're local to Pittsburgh. Our turnaround time is getting a little bit better because Paul's back in the building. So we have 2 techs on staff, Aaron Hutzel. And what's Paul's last name?
Honestly, I don't know.
We don't know our second tech's last name, but
well, he came in for like
helper bought 3,000 is what Aaron refers to him as.
He came in for a week, and then he had some health things that he had to be out for like a while.
Yeah.
And now our
we don't pay him, so we don't know.
As I say, our payroll is a whole nother discussion here. The severity.
Brett's shaking his head back there behind the camera.
I'm actually gonna look his number up because I have to look up his name because I can't believe I don't know it.
But anyway, we have 2 techs here all the time now, so turnaround time is about a week and a half, 2 weeks. That's improving. That actually might be getting better. The pile's getting smaller for the repairs. The second I say that, though, we're going into a Saturday, everyone's going to drop off their guitars. It's just like the nature of it right there.
Bernstein.
Bernstein.
Burns.
Yeah, Paul Bernstein. We knew that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to start paying them now. This is awesome. What's a social? Let's tell everyone it's social security number.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Lessons. Another thing that's going on in the shop. In-store lessons are back. Virtual lessons are also there. You can do a hybrid thing, whatever you want to do. We've been taking a ton of calls on our lesson program here. It's really been filling up, and that was something that really got hit hard with COVID going on. So that's kind of back in full swing. If you're looking to get really, really high quality lessons, we have great instructors, guitar, bass, ukulele, piano, drums.
Yeah.
No vocal right now, nothing else, but really, really good instructors here. So if you're looking to like whatever goals you have in mind for your playing, it could be as basic as learning Tequila Sunrise from the Eagles. I don't even know the tune. Carl Kelly.
called you out.
Sorry, yeah. Carl. I probably know the tune.
You have to know it.
I know the tune.
It's like a yacht rock song.
Joe singing it to me. I'm sorry, guys. It just didn't quite. It didn't.
I sing to the guys in here all the time.
Didn't strike. It's very warming. We all calm down when Joe sings here in the shop. It's fantastic.
That's some warm milk and some.
You should hear the things that he says under his breath when things are going awry in the shop. He's just singing,
which is so rare.
Supple love songs to us. It's great. It's fantastic.
Disgusting.
Yeah, teachers, whatever your goals are, if it's like learning a tune or you want to get like deep into music theory, harmony, all that stuff, they can take care of you in anything that you want to do, beginner to intermediate to advanced lessons. So give us a call at the shop, shoot us an email. Mine is Anthony@empiremusic.com, Joe@empiremusic.com. The phone number, like I said, 412-343-5299. Lessons are filling up, $29 a half an hour. You pay monthly.
Easy peasy.
We'll give you all that. And we're gearing up for a big fourth quarter here. So we got 23 days left, or no, not even 13 days left in this third quarter. So we're stocking up. And I mean, that's the thing. Like when you walk in the shop and you see all this inventory that we have, we're gearing up for fourth quarter, man. It's right there. Like, so holiday season's like going to be right.
Guitars are still really hard, and we can do layaways. So if you want to do a layaway starting October 1st, we'll do a layaway with 25% down, and as long as it's paid off before December 24th, we'll wrap you up, and your deposit goes obviously toward the cost of the item. So if you want something or you're getting a gift for somebody,
and not just local, if you're wherever you're at, like let us know.
We do so many internet layaways; they almost never go awry. But that's for the Empire Insider one day.
If there's a certain customer watching this, that was a fun conversation that we had earlier today. You know who you are.
But it's like we can definitely hook you up with that stuff. And that's why, I mean, it's like you know, you always don't want to come off like a slime ball, like salesy guy, but it is so hard to get gear. Perfect example, D18, right? We got a D18 in the other day.
Yeah.
It came in, what's today? Friday, right? So he bought it yesterday, right? So it's like it came in on Tuesday. We get it checked in, inspected, photographed. It gets edited. Todd didn't even get a chance to list it, and it was sold. It's just like the inventory is flying. So if you see something, and if you go to our site, you'll see that we might have 10 of this guitar on there, and it sounds like a ton. And there will be days where it's like we'll sell 4 or 5 of one model because the individual colors might be hard to get or whatever. We're always willing to work with you is all I'm saying. If you know you want to get something, we'll hook you up. If you want to wait and be risky, hey, live your life. I love it.
On the edge, baby.
That's right.
That's how we do it here. All right. So that's kind of what's going on in the shop there. I mean, pretty basic stuff. But like I said, we're really busy and we can't say it enough. We appreciate all of you guys purchasing instruments, reaching out to us, checking out our YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. It means the world to us, and it really kind of keeps us going here. So the continued support is appreciated, and hopefully, you know, we give you guys some good entertainment on these things and through our YouTube channel. So without further ado, let's talk about new stuff. So big launch. I'm sure you guys heard about it. Fender. Anytime they come out with a new lineup, especially recently, which they have been killing it. Their releases have been
right now.
Their releases have been so good recently. There's only Noventa was a little bit of
those are kind of like quirky. They weren't like full line launches.
Yeah,
those were like limited edition runs.
But what they have released now is and we'll show a couple guitars here. We'll go more in depth, but is the Fender Player Plus. This is the P bass. We got the Strat HSS right there. So a little bit about the line and kind of where this sits in sort of the Fender family here. So we all know what Squier is. We all know what the American stuff is. You have like American Pro, American Original, up to custom shop. There's one in there called the American Ultra. That's like the high performance, and the Ultra Lux. They don't have a bass in that. There's the Strat,
and then the Performers, which are below.
Performers go below
which we don't stock.
Yeah, which we don't really stock because it's still a weird price point for us. So we don't just carry everything, guys. Yeah. We sell the stuff we believe in, and that's we honestly mean that. Except the Noventa.
Matt gets us sometimes.
They're still here. Thanks, Matt. Anyway, so American Ultra is kind of like the high performance vehicle of the American lineup. Well, the counterpart to that in Mexican series. So there's the Player series and now the Player Plus. Mm-hmm. If we rewind, say that 5 times. We rewind.
Back up.
What, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, there was if you guys remember, the Deluxe series.
Yeah.
This is sort of like the new take on the Deluxe series where we get into. So what's so guitar wise, what separates these from the players from the Player Plus?
Well, the Player platform, the guitars are real similar. Someone mentioned it up here earlier that they said that the fingerboard was rolled differently. That is not accurate. It's the same as that. So really, if you just took the body of this guitar and the neck of the guitar, it's identical to a Player, right? So the body of the instrument, the neck of the instrument is similar. I always feel like when they're offering something like this to us, what are they trying to do? Well, they're giving us noiseless pickups, which is the big story, right? They're going to give us 6 individual modern, saddles, which are great because they're super adjustable, really reliable. They give you locking tuners, which you're not going to be able to really see here, but that's a big mod that a lot of people like to do is put locking tuners on these, and they work great. And obviously new colors and stuff, but really noiseless pickups are like one of those things where it's always a mercurial, like, do you like them? Do you not like them? Whatever. And if you'd have played a noiseless pickup, I think 2 years ago or 3 years ago, okay, I would have told you not to buy one. You know what I mean? I thought they sounded legit, just absolutely terrible. You know what I mean? Just not very good. Then the Ultras came out, and when the Ultra came out, they sounded amazing. I mean, Fender really nailed it. It was like in the Ultra, there's a different type of pickup. This is called the Player Plus noiseless, but a really great pickup. So you still get the sparkle of a single coil, but how often does it happen when we're here with somebody and they check out the bridge position or neck position and they get that 60 cycle hum and they don't like it? It quiets it down, right? So that's, to me, the big story. Obviously, like things like locking tuners, you can put on any guitar. You don't have to like buy a new guitar to have locking tuners. But if you think about a player guitar being $800, these are $999. You get a deluxe gig bag, so figure $50 for a bag. Machine heads are $80 on their own. Okay, so that's $130. Then you get noiseless pickups. I mean, it's easy. Easy to get to the money there. And Fender's fit and finish on the made in Mexico products, amazing. I mean, just really, really good.
Yeah,
so,
and it's a guitar. I mean, the guitars, I think across the lineup, I think my takeaway from it, and I say this in some of the YouTube videos that I did, it's like there's a certain player that it's for, there's a certain player that it's not for. Like it's definitely like the noiseless pickups add a tonality and a touch.
Well, they're really humbuckers.
Yeah,
and they're just two pickups stacked underneath each other, as opposed to
a certain player that's going to really work for.
Sure.
I know with the basses, it's like most of that stuff. Putting into active electronics in there, there's purists that aren't going to necessarily always go for that, but like I think they sound amazing. Todd's video sounded amazing,
really good
on that stuff. So as we compare that to the Ultra lineup, where the Ultra has a different noiseless pickup in there,
different neck shape.
That's
the rolled fingerboard edges on there. So
and that was like the supernatural satin finish.
Yeah,
these
compound
do have
fingerboard radius.
Satin urethane. Yeah, those go 10 to 14. These are all 12.
And that's another big step up. These are modern guitars.
Yeah.
So it's like a 12-inch fingerboard radius is the same as Gibson's. It's flatter and faster. There's no way around it.
Which players would be a 9.5, which is typical that we see on Fender stuff.
That's what most of our, like a lot of our custom shop Fenders are 9.5. Ours are compound 9.5 to 12. People like that 12 up, higher up the fretboard, because when you're bending, you want that to be flatter, so you're not fretting out.
Yeah.
Pretty great.
So in the lineup, guitar-wise, we have the standard Strat, which we'll show you here. And this is the Tequila Sunrise finish, as we mentioned already.
Joe Walsh's favorite guitar.
But I mean, it's a really cool finish.
I think he was in the Eagles there with the song.
I think it's a pretty divisive finish. Like it's getting a lot of love, and it's also getting some hate out there. I really like it. I think it looks great.
Yeah.
We've sold a few so far. That seems to be a very popular one.
I think it looks badass.
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
Here's the thing: if you go online, just as here's a life lesson for you. If you go online for affirmation, you're going to the wrong place. No one likes anything online. That's like where you go to find out that you suck and everything around you sucks. This stuff, I mean, like I think they look amazing. And Aaron, our photographer, I was interested to see how these looked on our site versus in person, and they look really, really good. I mean, they're very, very true. And the finish is great because it's blended. It looks good.
Yeah.
It's not, there's a lot of guitars out there that have a lot of interesting finishes, and they're just done kind of poorly. This feels like a high-end guitar in terms of the finish.
So we told you the spec on that guy.
And we have the HSS.
HSS, that's a new.
And this one here has the coil tap, correct?
No.
Yeah, push pull. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So which one of these is going to be a push pull? One of them is going to be. Yeah, there it is. So you can split your single coil, split your humbucker here in a wide range cover. So you can single coil or humbucker still. So there you have it.
That's Bel Air Blue.
That's cool.
Finish there.
Telecasters. Well, they came with the standard telly.
And that's aged candy apple red.
Yep, aged candy apple red, 3-way switch, right? And what's cool about this is you have push pull as well, so you can do series or parallel. So the guitars are typically parallel, which means you basically, when you're in the middle position, you get shared output to each of these. So they basically are each working at half power to give you one. Whereas when you go ahead and you get it into parallel, they get equal power at the same time, higher output, which is pretty cool. So that's a cool mod that's also been done a lot. And then probably my favorite of the whole line, the Nashville tellies.
Always popular.
Yeah, these are cool. If you saw the Brent Mason model, kind of a similar, like you can see these Nashville players have been putting an extra pickup in the middle here, 5-way switch that gives us the functionality. Somebody might ask about that. Is it 5-way like a Strat, but they're voiced like a telly. You know what I mean? So it's not going to sound like a Stratocaster. It's going to sound like a Telecaster. So
with some more tonal variety,
yeah,
we can pull
some
out
more
of there.
flavors.
That's right. So that's the guitar lineup. Now bass lineup, have your typical. Actually, I'll go to the P bass last. So you have your jazz bass here. We also have this in a 5-string version. This is the 4. Is that in there, Brent? Yep, we got it. Palfaro fretboard also available in maple and some finishes. This has the noiseless pickups in there, high mass bridge, alder body. Like we said, 12-inch radius on the neck, slim, modern C profile back here, synthetic nut, not a bone nut. Standard open gear tuners on the back. Nice finish here. So active electronics are the, kind of the move here. So you got a little switch here that'll flip you between active and passive. Now, the one thing that everyone calls out, and I called it out in our video, the one thing that these miss is a passive tone control. So when we're in the passive mode there, all you have is volume and pickup panning. Doesn't have a passive tone control. However, it's not a big deal because these basses really, really excel when we go into active electronics. I never thought I'd say that. I'm such a traditionalist and love a passive bass, but man, every time I flip these on, you can see it in the videos that I posted on our YouTube channel, like my reaction to them when we go into active was pretty substantial. They're really, really nice. So what you have here is stacked treble and bass here, and then mid-range here. Really, really versatile instruments. And the high mass bridge is great. Now it adds a little bit of weight to the back end here because you got two 9 volts back there. It's an 18 volt preamp and the high mass bridge, but a ton of sustain, just a ton of sound coming out of this thing. Really, really impressed with this. So again, 4-string and 5-string in the jazz bass. And then the P bass, obviously a super, what do they call this finish? Cosmic Jade.
Cosmic
right?
Jade.
This is Cosmic Jade.
Cosmic Jade.
Cosmic Jade.
Cosmic.
There it is. Traditional P bass, but you add a noiseless J pickup here in the bridge. Also have the high mass bridge here. Same active electronics, no passive tone control. Again, when we're in passive mode, we flip it into active. Just a ton of tonal variety here. 1.65 at the nut. And again, modern C neck. This is this has the maple board on it, also in a 12-inch radius. Super comfortable to play. Really a nice hybrid of like your traditional. I think all of these, guitar and bass, are really nice hybrids of modern and traditional because you really have the traditional look, pretty much a traditional feel other than the fretboard. But you have like high performance coming out of it, high performance tones coming out of it. They can really, really do a lot. So, and these hover in around, cheapest is 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000.
And then the 5-string bass goes to 1,150.
Yeah. So
that's what, like I said, like Joe said, all come with like a deluxe gig bag. We've sold a lot so far, and we think these will be pretty popular here moving forward for them, especially through this fourth quarter as we kind of move into that.
Now, real quick before we move on to Steve, what's up, Steve? You remember Steve? You still in the custom shop Strat, and he's waiting on our new secret project.
We'll talk
but he
about
wants to
that in a
know
minute.
how do these compare to the American Pro 2? I'll let you handle the bass.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can kind of encompass everything by saying, like, I mean, outside of specs. So spec-wise, that's, bass-wise, we're in all passive, and in guitar-wise, no noiseless pickup. So a very traditional setup there. And I think that, I always think American Pros are like the American Standard, American Pro 1, American Pro 2. Fender designs those to be sort of the everyman's instrument there. That's
I think you could hand that to any player and say, hey, you have a show tonight. I mean, and a good player, a touring musician, and say, here you go. And it's going to do what Fender does, which is always good. I think the Player Plus is, the fit and finish is great. American guitars, the US models are built more discerningly. That's just life. You know what I mean? Like when you're spending 50% more, you know what I mean? It's just like it's not just because, you know what I mean? It's just like they're doing some things different there. That being said, I think these are cool because if I wanted a noiseless pickup guitar, I would probably lean, like, you don't have to necessarily spend $2,000 on an Ultra if you've never had one, you're not sure you love it. You get something like this and really get a chance to experience it and get a high quality, great playing guitar before you go ahead and say, okay, noiseless pickups are the way I want to be for life.
Or just to add, like, so for me, so like I perfect candidate here. A ton of Fender Custom Shop passive basses, everything, passive Ps, passive Js. And I've been looking to add an active bass into my arsenal because, like, I get to a session, I get to a gig, and I want that active tonality. I don't necessarily always want to spend not exorbitant, but more money on that bass. That instrument. For sure. Well, like at $1,000, that's comfortable to me. I get what I want as far as the variety of tone, right? But I'm not breaking the bank to do it. So I think like, that's cool.
Like a 12 string. You know what I mean? It's just like you don't want to spend $3,000 on a 12 string like you do all your other acoustics. Yeah. But also, you still need something great.
Had a gentleman in the shop earlier today looking for a bass, wanted to do a trade-in, was describing all types of tones that he wanted to get out of one instrument. And it was like,
Butler.
Yeah, he was like, I want heavy and modern, but I also want vintage. What should I get? And it's like something like this. While you would never really associate active electronics or a Nashville Tele or HSS with necessarily traditional,
Right.
what it does give you is enough tradition and enough new and enough variety in there and enough versatility that, like, until you make your mind up, if you ever do, you kind of have everything at your fingertips. I mean, here you want a P bass, but you also still want to retain some J tone, like or have some J tone if you're going to take a solo. Or you just want to hit pedals differently. You can do that. So I think the versatility on these actually is better than an American Pro 2. The American Pro 2 is just the workhorse. That's just what you get outside of the tolerances. And,
it's a Swiss
and
Army
like
knife guitar here. It's like you're going to get more flavors, which is cool.
You can never go wrong either way. But I think, American Pro 2s are awesome, but these kind of dwell in their own spot there. So we liked them right at first, obviously. Like right out of the box, we were really, really impressed with them. So this guy is a quirky looking thing, and it's pretty cool. So, Mr. Revita.
So Kurt Cobain, I think the first CD I ever bought was Use Your Illusions 1. But I think
that's not Kurt Cobain.
No, but I think my second CD was Nevermind. I think it was right around the same time. First 5 CDs probably, and not tapes. I had MC Hammer and Bon Jovi like everyone else. Now, what did Kurt play? Kurt played offset body shapes, Mustangs and Jaguars. That was his thing, and his guitars were kind of mishmash guitars, like kind of parts guitars. And in 1993, he actually went to Fender in the custom shop, and they designed this guitar. You know what I mean? And this is what he did a lot of recording with. And they're cool because Kurt Cobain inspired a million people, a lot of guitar players. It's like, to me, like my parents used to have a sheet music store, and I remember getting the Nirvana tab book, and like that was like you aspire to that. Whereas now, the guitar isn't as front facing right now in modern is much in modern music. You know what I mean? Like you see less of it, like in terms of like overall like rock bands, like you saw in the kind of that alternative phase. But it's cool because it's a great playing guitar. The body shape being awkward looking is not awkward feeling to hold. So if that's something you be interested in knowing, check it out. It's not like funky. Sometimes you see these odd body shapes and you hold it and you're like, it's kind of like a Martin backpacker and you just don't know what to do with it. It sits on you just like a normal strap body shape would. What's cool about this is it's got pickups designed specifically for it. It's got phase switches in and out. But my favorite thing about it, it sounds really good, but it's got a 24-inch scale. And short scale guitars are fun to play. They're really easy to play. If you've ever wanted something you can move around quickly on, frets will be close together, chording is easier, it's just slinkier. It also kind of like darkens the instrument up because the strings aren't pulled as taut. I mean, it's a full 1.5 inches shorter than a Strat from bridge to, from saddles to nut. So, and they're just cool. It's like one of those things where it's like, is this for everybody? It is not for everybody. If you love Kurt Cobain, I'm happy they did it like in a price range. I think there's like $1,200, $1,250. Yeah, so it's like it's not inexpensive, obviously, but it's just like sometimes when they do the signature models, it's a $3,000 guitar, $2,500 guitar, and it's not as gettable. And I think this kind of represents his spirit for sure. And if you're a big fan of his, and I'll guarantee you, if you get somebody like this or you get it for yourself, you're not gonna have something like it in your collection, right? You don't have another one of these laying around. So it's just really cool. Like I said, it's like if I was gonna get my one and only guitar, and I would tell someone to buy a Strat or a Tele or what, but it's, I just think that he had such a big impact on so many people my age that it's just cool to be around.
Not to mention, if you're looking for something different,
it's so cool. Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're gonna pull out some different stuff from that. So I mean, it's going to be eye-catching, and I'm sure there's going to be some sounds out of that thing.
Yeah.
Todd's going to do a video on that guy.
This week, yeah.
Yeah, Monday probably. So we'll have that out like at the end of next week or something like that. So if you're interested in that.
So if you wanted to brood.
And I put a link in the comments there, right to a search to show you all those Cobains on our website. And like I said, if you're on the website, see something that you'd like, 412-343-5299. Give us a call. Get you best price we can, free shipping. Like I said, full factory setup and all that stuff. So that kind of covers the new Fender stuff on there. One of the questions, and we kind of covered this, that we had from a couple guys, we'll get to whatever happened here in the chat in a second. Does the Nashville perform just like a Stratocaster, as Joe alluded to? Yes, it does in functionality, but not in tonality. So those are Telly pickups. What's the middle pickup? Is it a Duncan Telly?
No, it's a noiseless. It's just a
It's a
regular
noiseless
noiseless. It's like a
Duncan.
Strat pickup.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there we're gonna pull. So you're gonna pull middle position of a Strat,
Yeah.
essentially in there. And then as we start to move forward, we're gonna basically be combining Strat and Telly tonalities to it. So again, 5-way switch and functionality of a Strat, but it's definitely more of the Telly tonal aesthetic to it. To kind of just jump over that. Now, pickups, are they different from the Ultras?
Yeah.
Samuel in Seattle. If you're watching Samuel, they are, because that is an ultra noiseless pickup, where these are just, I guess, like more of a stock noiseless pickup.
Yeah, they call them the ultra noiseless hot single coils. That's what
In
comes
an
in an
Ultra?
ultra. Yeah, exactly. So it's like a vintage hot. It's a higher output.
Yeah, now
more
I'll say
brash.
this. I did just speaking bass wise, Brent's working on it right now, who's our guy behind the camera here, killing it. And every video that you watch from us, Brent does all of the tireless editing on, and he's the one that's on the other side of me. I'm always making reference to him on the other side of the camera.
Luckily, we don't make mistakes, so he can really edit.
Never make mistakes.
He, like,
it's
moans
amazing.
and,
It's just amazing.
He talked when he
Sits,
played.
it's funny when we do these videos, he sits back there with his jaw just wide open, just enamored with how eloquent we are.
Why I still can't play a G then a D without flubbing it.
And just how good we are on camera, and just we're all naturals here.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Photogenic,
So
great hair.
I mean, it's just about making his job easier.
Yeah.
Really. Especially Todd's videos. There's really no editing that goes into those.
He actually volunteers. He doesn't even
it's very, very easy for him to rein us in on these things. But anyway, he's working on a video right now. So I did some comparison videos with the Player Pluses. So like the Player Plus versus a Players, a J and a P. And then I did a Player Plus versus an Ultra. So I did an A-B comparison on the pickup. So it was like the ultra noiseless in basses. And what I noticed was a little bit more cut and top end in these. Okay. And just like they said, like a little more vintage of a vibe, not as much cut, but a little bit more warmth in the mid-range. So that probably would carry across the lineup too, just a little bit more traditional of a pickup, but in the noiseless feature, where I think these are a little bit hotter and a little bit more cutting. Yeah. And I don't mean that in like a bad treble kind of way. I know noiseless pickups sometimes get the rap as like they can be a little bitey and they can be a little harsh and sterile. And I think that probably was the case in years past. I've actually found them to be like, hey, if you roll clean.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the difference between the American Elites, which were the best, till the American Ultra. I mean, it's just like, I mean, the American Elites I thought were good at the time. And now if you look back on that, they sound terrible. I mean, the Ultras are pretty damn close to, I mean, they're not true single coils. So you're going to give up a little bit with it.
Yeah, but I think that there's probably is some difference there. But like I said, watch out for my video. That'll give you a decent idea on the comparison there. Briefly, another question. John in Florida, when do you guys sleep? I get my videos before I'm even out of bed. Well, you're East Coast, so that makes sense. So I guess pulling back the curtain, showing how the sausage is made, so to speak. We filmed, that's gross, man. Damn. So we filmed the videos. Yes, we do sleep. Joe doesn't sleep much. Joe is sleep deprived.
I'm right now, I'm just struggling.
I, on the other hand, pretty good 7 to 8 hours a night kind of guy. So no big deal. But I also don't own the shop. I also haven't given my cell phone out to all of you out there.
That definitely.
And also, what's the biggest reason right now?
My wife is pregnant, like I said last time, and she's sleeping in a donut or something like a big. And I moved beds so many times in my house. So we couldn't decide which bed we liked of the beds we had. And in moving it, I think I broke the one side that I'm on. So it's like falling off a cliff.
I saw him ardently searching the avocado.
Then I bought an avocado bed, which was expensive. And for what it's worth, just like to let you know, I spent $3,500 on a bed and a foundation and a frame. You don't get to talk to anybody. It turns out it's not 7 days away. It's 5 to 7 days, 5 to 7 weeks away. And it's like really frustrating. And that's specifically why we're so accessible. And that's why I do give my cell phone number out, because I would never we're never going to stick it to you. You know what I mean? It's just like, you can really reach me like anybody else. But man, it's like this damn bed. It's like by the time it comes, my wife's going to have had the baby, and it's just like, I won't need it. It stinks.
Avocado, shout out. We
Better Business Bureau.
We need a sponsor too. So Avocado Mattress.
I'm gonna like start my TikTok, and that'll be my first thing. It'll be me yelling at the avocado people like a Karen.
Could be an OnlyFans.
Well, mine got taken down. Moving on.
Right. So yes, we do sleep, but so the way that the videos kind of work here is we film them mostly in batches, like Fridays or really whatever day, Fridays, Mondays, Wednesdays, when we're full staffed. Then Brent does the editing, and then I'll do the thumbnails for them and do like the product tags and things like that. I'll schedule them out for the following day for like 7 a.m. I like it 7 a.m. so the East Coast people, when you're like getting up and going to work, you get the little notification. If you're scrolling through YouTube while your wife might be in the bathroom or something, like you got some time, that's always the goal. And then the emails are kind of the same thing. So today's Friday. We worked on we get our new this week video out to you guys on Monday. For the most part, we filmed that on a Friday. If there's something really pressing, we'll wait until Monday to do it. But I like to get that stuff out early to you guys, and so really, it might appear as though we're up early in the morning doing that stuff, and that's not the case. Unless it was the Player Plus, where that I was up at 6:45 in the morning to make sure that all that stuff got out at the right time. So we're dedicated to the craft here at Empire Music. We appreciate you noticing the hard work that we put in, because honestly, we're still a small store, and we feel like we get a fair amount of output. And we love the outreach that we get with you guys. So we're happy that you guys notice it and enjoy the stuff with us. So next question, we didn't go over this too much, but we alluded to it. What separates the Player Plus series from the Player series? So we talked about what separates the Player Plus from the Ultra.
Yeah.
From the Player series, it's kind of the same thing that separates it from the American Pro Tunes. Yeah. You're talking about a traditional instrument in a Player series, 9.5 fretboard radius, traditional style pickups in there, no active electronics. No, is there any player that has a push-pull?
No push pulls, no locking tuners.
Right, so that's your difference. We move into some high-performance features in the Player Plus. So just that word plus in there tells you everything you need to know. We have a more, like I said, something that's a little bit more versatile of an instrument, a little bit more of a modern take on that. So that's the difference there between Player and Player Plus. If you have any questions, honestly, call 412-343-5299. It's Anthony or Joe at empiremusic.com or Todd at empiremusiconline.com. Trust me, it's complex. We're working on it. But ask away. Like, honestly, we'll give you the scoop on that stuff. And we have videos on our YouTube channel of all that stuff. Last question from the kind of preset questions here. What's the latest on the new Empire or the Fender Empire custom shop, I'm assuming, guitars and basses? Soon, right?
Yeah, so I was supposed to meet with them today, actually, in a Zoom call. It got pushed back to next Friday. Our new Super Strat iteration should be this month. And then the basses should be next month. I think it was supposed to be kind of like September 1st, October 1st. Now it might be like October 3rd, November 3rd. You know what I mean?
So we're thinking like a more high performance version of our Super Strat.
Yeah, Super Strat with a Floyd Rose. It'll be an HSH as opposed to an HSS. And these things are going to be badass. I'm real excited about them. Like, they're going to be cool. So great finishes and killing price point. I mean, the custom shop guitars, if you want to just spec just for what it's worth, a spec an NOS Strat, bare bones from Fender Custom Shop, it's about $3,800, picking every included feature, which no one does, right? Like, you're always going to want something different. That's why you're getting custom. So most of the custom shop Strats, when people build one out, push $5,000 easy. So our NOS models are going to be at $4,000, and it's going to have with a Floyd Rose. It's going to have 2 Van Halen Wolfgangs in it, pickups. You know, one of our hand wound Empire 67s, compound radius. I mean, if you spec it out, it'd be $2,000 more on your own. No way, and no way around it. I'm excited about them. They're going to be there's going to be, I think, a lot of our Super Strat players. Which, I mean, man, we sell a lot of Super Strats. Like the other day, we sold 3 or 4 in one day. I
do.
woke up in the morning and my email was just filled up with orders for Super Strats. So I think the Floyd guys are going to dig that.
It's really funny too with that stuff, and I'll tell you about the bases here in a second. It's so funny, like Joe and I, we talking like, man, we haven't sold a custom shop in 2 or 3 days, which feels like forever for us. Yeah. We're so used to it. And then boom, the next morning we walk in and there's Brent's over here knocking guitars off the wall. Whoever in there is saying Brent rocks, he's knocking guitars off the wall. If you didn't hear that,
that was a relic one. Don't worry.
So there's going to be an open. There's going to be an open box Empire 67. No, it was. Oh, was it the red one? Open box 67, guys.
It's still good.
No, but it was funny. Then like we walk in, he's like, I sold 3 Super Strats that went overnight.
Yeah.
It's so funny how it's like a cyclical thing with that. But we run through Empire.
We're selling
the Empire stuff and custom shop in general.
40 to 50 Fender custom shop guitars a month. It's wild.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
We talked about that last year, and we're like, we hope we get to 20.
Yeah.
30.
You know, we were
one
like, if
day
we
would
get
be
to
cool.
250, 300 Strats a year, that'd be great.
We start moving up to those numbers, and that's all because of you guys. And again, we greatly appreciate it. The bases, so those should be in pretty soon. What did you say, November? We'll say November-ish. Empire 58P bass, a little bit modeled after my own personal custom shop. Roasted body, roasted neck. Our own pickup, which Vincent and Josefina at the custom shop helped develop. And I ABC'd a couple different ones here and kind of fell into a really, really nice combo. I think this is going to be a real killer bass. The best of late 50s into early 60s. I think sonically and playing wise. I think the weight's going to be really good because they're going to be roasted body, roasted necks. Really, really excited for those. So keep an eye out on that stuff. All right, so we got 10 minutes left, give or take. Let's jump into the chat here and see any questions we can jump through.
He wanted to know, are all the colors that the guitars have?
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And the Player Plus is the same with the basses?
I don't think so.
I don't think it's as broad.
No, I don't think so. I think bases are green, sunburst. We got the candy apple red.
There is going to be a white.
Yeah,
there's a problem with the sourcing of the paint.
Yep.
So there's a little bit of a.
You know what? I think the only one that's not going to be there is going to be the butterscotch. Now that I think about it,
because
both blues are going to be there.
Right.
Faded candy apple.
Dude, Fender's site, man. Anytime you touch something on Fender's site, it's like you have to join Fender Play. I'll say that's annoying. But the P bass will come in the mercury, kind of the gray, the silver smoke, cosmic, jade, 3-color sunburst. Yeah, so in white. Every instrument won't be available in every color, but that's the same with HSS Strats and everything. But it looks like all the colors are represented across the basses and the guitars, minus the butterscotch blonde, which makes sense.
So it makes me want to do a butterscotch custom shop.
Well, we have
custom shop bass.
We have the 51s.
Well, that's true, but like in the P bass aesthetic, maybe I'll do that for the next run of 58s.
They're cool.
That would be awesome. Do a black guard with a butterscotch in like a traditional P bass shape. Would be kind of slick. All right, what else we got?
Anthony, what is your favorite bass from the last 21 years from the Cappy? No pressure.
Well,
the thing is, he's always like 22 years ago. Anthony tells this story. It's like 22 years ago, Fender had this bass. We can't tell that story now.
I'm only 25, man. So, no. I'm 41. So I've been playing for almost 30 years. My favorite bass, well, I mean, God, it's an easy answer. My 58 custom shop P bass, probably. That was one that kind of turned my head. I remember playing Paul Thompson, who's one of the greatest bass players you'll ever get a chance to hear or see. He's in the Pittsburgh area, upright player. I think he has a YouTube channel, PD Bass. Check him out, man. He's done some really, really good videos. I remember playing Paul's old Sadowski. It's a vintage Sadowski 5-string. And I was younger. I was probably 22 or 23 at that point. And I was taking a few lessons off him. And the sound of that, like the way that it resonated and just like the sound of it, that was one that always, I don't know, I can always remember that sound, the kind of like wax poetic about a moment in time where like I just got freaked out by the sound of a bass. So that was one. But I'm going to still say my 58 until the new Empire 58s come in. And I can guarantee you That's going to be the best bass of the last 21 years. I hope.
I like it. So
discounts too,
yeah.
maybe if you pre-order. Let's go,
yeah,
guys.
hook you up.
Let's go.
Thoughts on the Nashville Telly Plus? See, to me, anytime a brand offers you something you can't get anywhere else in the line, I'm always about that. I think that's the coolest one. I just said that earlier in the lineup. I think it's like if you want a Telecaster, great, it can be that. If you want the ability to really like have more tones and just be more unique, I think they look awesome. I like the third pickup, just makes it look cool to me. It just stands out.
Yeah.
And I don't care. I mean, it's just like electric guitars. We always laugh at the acoustic manufacturers because, you know, like for them to come up with a new acoustic model, it's like there's bracing and like there's only so many tone woods at work and it's so hard to make them. Whereas like Fender can make one guitar in like 38 colors and like voila, it's like it's done. The Telly Plus would stand out in any collection. It's just really, really cool. So yeah, it's just like,
and it's all and plus with the popularity of the Brent Mason, it's nice to see that kind of go into a lesser. I mean, obviously you don't have the B bend or anything like that, but you get into a lesser price point to get a really nice versatile instrument.
Let's see what else we got cooking through here. What are you doing this weekend, Anthony? Getting your Eagles Tequila Sunrise knowledge down first by the morning.
Get that tune together
That's your
so
homework.
Carl Kelly doesn't come in and
be making fun of you right to your face.
Yeah, give me the business about not knowing it. I'm playing out at Steamworks Creative on Sunday.
You and Lou.
Me, Lou Ross, and Ian Arthurs are doing like an ambient improv set. So like if you see me the way that I play in my bass demos, I have a few gigs that I play drastically different styles of music than in my bass demos. Some pretty out there stuff. I'll probably have anywhere between 15 and 20 pedals, looper pedals. The coolest pedal that I've played in a long time, we don't sell it, but I'll say it anyway. Shout out to the Red Panda Labs, the Tensor pedal. If you're not familiar with that, man, look that thing up. It's like a crazy, it's a looper pedal, but it really doesn't loop in a sense like you think. It can spit what you play out in reverse and resample it and you can speed it up and slow it down with pitch shifting or without. I use stuff like that. So I'm doing that Sunday. That's after I'm probably checking a little bit of the Steeler games. I golfed during last week's for the Buffalo game. So I'll watch a little bit of the Raiders game. And I don't know, what about you? What are you going to do? What are you and the pregnant wife going to do?
Well, it's a baby shower weekend.
Is it?
It's a baby shower weekend. And that means Gina's sisters and mom are in town.
Oh, it's her baby. It's her baby shower.
Yeah, it's her baby shower. And one of my
719 Washington Road.
Let's go.
Pittsburgh, PA 15228. Send the gifts.
Yeah.
For Joe and Gina, expecting their first child.
It's gonna be a little girl.
Little girl.
Yeah, we're stoked about that. So we're doing that. One of my very, very best friends, his wife is pregnant, a week behind Gina.
Sutton.
Yeah, Sutton. And his wife's shower is tomorrow. So they're gonna go to that and then Sunday. So I'm gonna be just kicking it and doing that. Nothing too exciting. Hopefully watching a Steelers victory. You know, a nice little day there. But let's see here. David knows. Well, the Pirates. We're rooting for the Pirate season to end.
Easy on them.
We don't really
easy on the Pirates,
with those
man.
guys. You know what I mean? It's like they're like the kind of the drunk uncle.
Easy
All right.
on that. A lot, but if Steelers get the win, that's going to be a nice move in the AFC North because Baltimore. Let's see what they do.
Well,
they already lost to the Raiders. That's a common opponent.
And then Baltimore has the Chiefs this week, so that's an L for sure.
And
I saw a stat. Tomlin 2-0 when it happens 6 times. He always makes the playoffs. So there you go. One for the thumb. Stairway to 7. EmpireMusic.com.
Wiz Khalifa, Black and Yellow. Here we go. All right. Any other questions in there?
That's it.
We're ready to wrap this thing up?
That's it.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for our 7th happy hour. We'll see you in 2 to 4 weeks. Yeah, we won't make this one as long. It's funny. I didn't even realize when I went to do the emails, I looked back at the last one. I'm like, oh, it was like 6:30. So that just, we've been so busy here. Honestly, that's not like a cop-out. We've been really slammed. So the time just like flew right by for us. But we appreciate you hanging out with us. If you need anything, again, 412-343-5299. You can email us. It's Joe or Anthony, respectively, at empiremusic.com. Full factory setup, 0% interest financing, Fender Custom Shop, Squier. Well, easy on the financing on the Squier. Not a whole lot of margin there. Gibson, Epiphone, Martin, Taylor, Empire exclusive models. Always have some in stock. The Empire 67s are some of the most popular Fender Custom Shop models across the board, and that's only available through us. So that tells you how good those things are. We're really proud of that stuff. More stuff coming. I keep tapping my pen. I keep clicking it in the microphone. I apologize for that. Just throw it at the camera. We'll see you next time, guys. Thank you.
See ya.